there, how are you today? I'm Diana from Adirondack Girl at Heart. I teach vintage and antique lovers how to create successful antique businesses that they'll love. One of the ways I do that is through these videos, along with my website, adirondackgirlatheart.com. I have some very sad news today. I have lost my videographer. My son, Dan, graduated from college in December and started his very first job in marketing just a few weeks ago. So I will not have him for the foreseeable future to edit my videos. So the quality is going to change a little bit. So what I'm going to try to do is actually shoot this video without any like breaks or any like editing of my ums and other verbal mistakes that I make. So today I'm focusing on farmhouse style vintage and antiques, and I have like such a load to show you. Very exciting things that I found recently. So it's always hard to know where to start. Hey, I'll start with something that I'm not even sure of. So here is a cool lantern. It was $5 at an estate sale, and what I can't tell is if it's new, made to look old, or if it's genuinely old. So if you have any thoughts about that, it's got these rivets all around, little detail there on the bottom, clips that hold the glass pieces in. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Like I said, $5. If it's new, made to look old, I'd probably price it at $30 or $35 because it looks, great. If it's really old, it might be worth like $100 or something. Anyway, thoughts on that? Now, something that I know is not really old, it's vintage, right? Little cookie container made to look like a firkin. And I've had a lot of success painting these, chalk painting these, like a taupe or a dark beige, and selling them for about $35. It was $3.99, $3.29 at Goodwill. And it should sell for about $35. I think I already said that. See, now I can't edit that out. You have to listen to it twice. Alrighty. And another wooden item here is this very plain a cutting board. Not sure exactly the wood that it's made out of. It's sort of, it can't be pine because that's too soft, so maybe birch or maple. In any event, it was $2. It's not perfect. It's got a little hooky dookie there. But it should sell for about $18, I'll say, $18 to $20 at my antique booth. Now, one thing I want to show you quickly before I forget. I picked up a Croc, my very first with beautiful cobalt decoration. So it was it was half price at a thrift store, and I paid $5 for it. Now the reason why it was $5 is because it has like buku, lots of damage there, right? It's otherwise in pretty decent shape. The handles, the applied handles are doing nice. It reads AA White and Sun, Utica, New York. It looks like 1.5 quarts, although maybe 1.5 gallons. It's Utica's about an hour and a half west of me, but it's a beautiful shelf piece, right? So for someone who's just starting out collecting, maybe they would start with this. I'm going to price it appropriately, probably $30, something like that. But I just thought the cobalt floral decoration was really beautiful, and you can see the orange peel like surface, which is caused by the salt glaze. Salt thrown into the kiln at a certain point to make it impervious to water, and it gives it this orange peel surface. So anyways, thought that was really cool. So let's jump into a few other things. I'm a little disconcerted that I'm not going to be able to edit anything. So at Salvation Army, most of their flatware is for $1. So I got 16 pieces of flatware. Some of them are French ivory or celluloid, like these. I have an article on my website. I'll link to that, all about celluloid. And then some are Bakelite, like this orangey tangerine color. And I have an article all about Bakelite, and I'll link to that as well. So I paid $1 for each, and I think I'll put them all, like I said, there's 16 of them. I think I'll put them all in like a big pitcher or jar and price them at $2 each. It'll be like a fun, cheap thing that people will come across in my booth. So that's that. Picked up nice pair of scissors. These are marked made in Germany. I've been selling them really well lately from my antique booth for anywhere from $10 to $12. I think I'm going to price these at $15 since they're made in Germany and see how it goes. Might even try $18. And how about this alarm clock? Do you love it as much as I do? Oh my gosh, the green and the typography of those numerals. The glass is broken. I feel like I want to break the rest of it, but just really great for decorating. Doesn't work anymore. Costs $3. If I were going to sell it, which I don't think I am, I would price it at $25 to $30. And then here's another clock. This one was $1. It's missing its arms, but this was made in Germany and just has a great look for decorating, right? So I'll price it about $10 or $12. So that's it for some metal items. How about, let's take a look at some paper. So this isn't like not super exciting, but I do have an article on my website all about bookmarks. This one is plastic and just very pretty. Earth laughs in flowers, and I will likely price that at about $3 or $4, which I think was the original price, $2.99. I paid $1/4 for it. Yeah, so it's just, I like to have my booth filled with some really low priced items to get people excited, or for beginners to find things, or for children to find things. Okay, more paper. Home recipes. This is a new one for me. Love this yellow color, and no pictures or anything on the inside, but it, and I didn't find a date, but I would say that it dates to about the 1930s or 40s. That's my feeling. And I will price it at about $8 to $10. Now here's a really wonderful find. So I have been selling old, I call them recipe journals, handwritten recipe books or recipe journals, and I do have an article about them. I sell them on Etsy. This one should go for about $40. So it's a composition book that has some handwritten recipes in it, and then a whole bunch of recipe notes and recipe cards and clippings and things like that. And people love stuff like this. It also has a lot of empty pages, which are great for scrapbooking or journaling. So I paid $1 for that. This is one of those finds that not everybody knows about, so they don't see the value of it. So I hope you go out and look for one and find one soon, because they are fun, historical, and like I said, sell well for me on Etsy. Now, here is a gorgeous children's book, Farm Friends storybook, and I picked it up for $1. The illustrations are just stunning. This is the page that fell out, 1925. And look at those illustrations. They are just really, let me find another one. Here's some chickens. So there is a little bit of coloring. A child has colored, and there's another page that's fallen out. So I do really think that I want to take the illustrations and frame them. I will add this to my pile of books filled with illustrations waiting to be framed. But each of these is just so beautiful. Framed in a simple vintage or antique frame, they should sell for, I would say, $20 to $25 each, the larger ones. And then there are some smaller ones. So that was a very cool find. I do have a problem with books. I have a really hard time not picking them up when I see like something that's really interesting or old or beautiful like this one. You have to excuse my voice. I've been sick for a couple of weeks with a terrible virus. I lost my voice at one point and I've been coughing my brains out, and I'm on my way to recovery. That's what I keep saying. Okay, let's look at some glass items. So first off, I have a pair of canning jars, which I have articles on my website, and I have a whole course about them. So these are older jars. I found it interesting, like this is in such good shape, right? So nice and clear, and then this one is a little foggy in there, right? So this is a Mason's Consolidated fruit jar. So that was a company that produced these for quite a long time. These are early. One way I can tell that is it has a ground lip. So this was blown into a mold, and after it hardened, it would be cracked to, well, I'm not saying that right. It was blown into the mold. So then when the glass blower removed the pipe, there would be a rough edge. And so after it hardened, they would have to grind it down and make it smooth. So that's how you know that it's older. It has a lid that only this certain type, the zinc ring with the glass, would fit on it. So these, I want to check my own price guide. I think they sell for about $30. That's what I think. I can't memorize every single canning jar. I have to use my own resource, right? Okay, some more glass. This is not like super old, but it's not super new either. Really beautiful evergreen color. And as you can see, I paid $2 for it, and I will price it at about $10. It's a really nice farmhousey style to have some old bottles around. Now this one, I just really love. I think this was an oil bottle, and it has some seeds in it, but the bottom, this ridging here is a newer form of bottle manufacturer, so not super old. I paid $1 for it, and again, about $10 for that. Okay, last two glass are these, just incredible. They're incredible to me. Little Carter's ink jars with the label still on them. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh. They were $1 each at a garage sale, and I feel like they should be worth about 15, 18, 20, something like that. Really loved those. Okay, some ceramic pieces. I gotta keep this moving, folks. All right, I'm calling this an Ironstone Insulator. It's a GPO, probably. So that must be like the, I don't know what that is. Insulators were used on electrical poles, telephone poles, and telegraphs, things like that, to protect people from electricity. In any event, I just thought this was a great shape. All on its own, I could stick that in my Ironstone cupboard and be just very happy with it. But, and so if I sell it, I would price it about $10. Recently got a whole bunch of letters from insulator collectors who were mad because I included insulators in my list of 41 vintage and antiques that resellers should avoid. I'll link to that article down below. They didn't like being included, but they didn't read the entire article, and they skipped over my exceptions. I had exceptions, insulator exceptions that should still be looked for and picked up. And I said that this is a list for people who sell a lot of different things and can't be an expert in everything, right? So if you're an expert in insulators, then you know the ones to pick up. If you're not an expert, which is me, then I basically avoid them unless they're super cheap, like $1. That's a great price. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. All right, does anybody know what this is? It's one piece, right? Something fit in there. It probably had a lid, I'm guessing. I don't know. So I paid $4 because I thought it was really pretty. You would call this chintz, blue and white chintz, and it's marked Hawthorne. I think that's the pattern, and then Stoke-on-Trent, England. Right, that's the pottery center of England, if not the world. So I will probably price this at $15 to $20. It would be helpful to know what it is, right? Here's a little cute little spice, oops, I got that on wrong. Little spice jar. This would have come in a large set, same type. It's marked handcrafted Delft blue. So this is from Holland, and I think these sell for about $10 each. Just super cute, really good shape, and it was $1. Okay, any blue willow lovers out there? I thought these were super cool, not common. Vinegar and oil containers, not marked or anything. I do have an article about blue willow. I paid $5 for the pair, and I feel like I could sell them for about $25 or $30 from my antique booth. Okay, I got to scooch over here and get something. I got to get something. Okay, here is a really cool, I'm calling it yellowware because it has yellowish clay, but it has this sort of pinky brown glaze. It was $8. I do have a thing for yellowware bowls. This one is marked ovenware, made in the USA. And I think ovenware is Watt, is the mark for Watt pottery. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know you will. So I think it'll sell for about $30, $28 to $30. But I really do love it. Do you love it? Okay, so here's the other piece that I just grabbed. Really pretty ironstone platter with brown decoration, and it is marked on the back T&R Boot of England. This is an older mark, so this goes back to the 1800s, late 1800s, and I paid $1 for it, and hoping it sells for $25 to $28. Just a really nice little heavy platter. Okay, I'm gonna put this back and grab something else. Two more pieces of ceramics. Here's a Portmeirion little tart dish. Portmeirion is also a Staffordshire pottery. This is an older Portmeirion mark. You can still buy Portmeirion in Macy's and places like that. In fact, when we lived in England, Portmeirion, the factory store, would have a huge tent sale every November. Things were so cheap, you can't even believe it. And so I came back with a number of pieces, but this one cost $1. Just very pretty floral and butterfly. And I will do a little more research on this piece, but I'm guessing probably $25 to $30. I'm gonna grab my last ceramic. So here is a little platter. Not old at all. It did have a label on the back. I'm not sure what it said. It was $2.99 at Salvation Army, and I just think at Thanksgiving time this is gonna sell quickly, and just nicely made, nice weight to it that would hold a small turkey or a small chicken, and I will price it at $20 to $25 for that. Okay, so now I have some textiles, some farmhouse style textiles, and And that'll close things out. So this is my favorite, probably my favorite textile find. So it's a cross stitch done by a 10-year-old. Can you see that in the middle? Has her initials and then 10 years. So I do need to do some research on this. Embroidery samplers like this done by young girls can really bring good money. So maybe $40 or $50, framed, unframed. I have a lot of very old antique frames. So, like I said, I'll have to research that a little bit more. I love these little pot holders that are shaped like things, like a dress. And they're not huge sellers, but I am planning on writing an article about them. So this was a quarter at a thrift store, and if I was going to sell it, which I will eventually, probably $4 or $5. I might put several of them together in a lot and sell them on Etsy. I've been selling linens fairly well on Etsy for quite a lot more money than I would get from my antique booth. Plus, they're super easy to ship, right? They're not breakable, they're not heavy, you can put them in a bag. So that's what I've been doing. Now here, if this was in perfect condition, I would put this on Etsy. This is just such a charming vintage towel. It's got some stains in a few places, but like I said, if it was perfect, I would price that at about $10 or $11 on Etsy. As it is, probably $4 or $5 from my antique booth. This is interesting. It's a pillow cover. It's been embroidered. The black outline is thread, was hand sewn. Really nice, I'm gonna say 1920s or 30s look, still usable. The back's in a little bit of a rough shape, but a seamstress would be able to work with that. And so again, on Etsy, I'm gonna try $18 to $20 on that piece. And then here is this is a money bag, I'm guessing, from Wall Street. I think that's really cool. It was $1. Gonna try that on Etsy for 15 to 20. That seems to be my go-to price for these. Now this I just came across. It's a christening gown, right? Long christening gown. Look at the work on the front. So it's not in perfect shape. I did not sell from my antique booth in 2020. I had it priced at $12. So this is an example of something I'm gonna now give a try on Etsy and see how it does there. It could definitely be used again as a christening gown. It could be used for crafting. It could be used for decorating. I actually have a christening gown on a sweet little hanger on in my upstairs hallway, hanging on on a door, on a linen closet door. Very pretty. Okay, last two finds. A beautiful wool scarf, nice and thick, comes from Ireland. It was $2 at Salvation Army, and I will also list this on Etsy, probably in the $25 to $30 range. And then last find, I'm so excited. This is from a thrift store in Georgia. We went down to visit my sister and her family in Georgia, and we had a wedding down there. And I picked this up at a thrift store for $3.99. Can you believe it? Beautiful buffalo plaid. Wool, not marked wool, but just you can feel it and you just know that it's wool. And I will probably put this out at Christmas time. That's what I'm thinking, at about $45 or $50. Just it'll really pop my booth, right? So that's it for my recent farmhouse finds. I hope you enjoyed seeing them. And as always, happy hunting.